Well, hello and welcome to a very, very short video. In response to my video yesterday about the Ketron event EVM, which I am EVM over the moon with, it's growing on me very, very fast. And why? Because one of the key elements that was driving me insane when I first reviewed the Ketron was the fact that the audio for the audio drums and the phrasing and that sort of thing, it was all very flat and sort of lifeless. So what I ended up having to keep doing is, if you can see on the screen here, I would go into View and Modeling. I would go to Setting, and then in Setting I have Real Drum Equalizer. And every single time it was on flat. So the sound would be, it wasn't good. However, one of the YouTube viewers, thank you so much for this information. Talk about hiding a key element. I've been going in and saying, okay, I want bright 2, because that makes a nice bright difference to those drums, or bright 1, for example, just in case it's a bit too bright. That's perfect. And that was it. I would come out. However, the button underneath that says Edit, if I tap the Edit button, I can then choose this little button in the right hand corner called Global. You can see me turning it on and off just to draw attention to it. If I say Global, that means all of the content in here now will apply bright 1 to all of the styles. So where my disco funk is, it's brilliant. If I go to Dance Pop 4, it's brighter, it's punchier. And if I just simply go where I would normally go, View and Modeling, Setting, you can see it's using bright 1. What a blessing in disguise this is. And it's been hidden. So I don't know if people at Ketron watched my first video, but this has just made this box so much more enjoyable to play and to listen to, because the brightness from those drums makes the world of difference. The other thing as well is I am going to crown this thing the king of disco, because there's honestly, the disco content in here is just out of this world. There's somebody else pointed out that when you play a major or a minor or seventh chord on the intro, it will play a different intro. Let's try a major. It sounds amazing. Like Jamiroquai in a can, isn't it? It's just so funky. Let's try minor. Now, I've got to say, I mean, the sound from it is just like, wow. And the more time I spend fiddling with it, because sort of late evening, I'll sort of turn from Genos to this and have a little bit of a wind down, just for a bit of fun. And the more I'm actually sitting here and using it, the more I'm thinking, this has got so much potential. But that one thing for me has taken it from a 50% unit to a 80% unit. Don't get me wrong, there's still little quirks that I hopefully have pointed out to Ketron that I found with this particular, in fact with the event as a product. But if they get that last 20% right, this is one major threat to other instrument manufacturers. It really is, because it's just so damn clever. And the quality of the styles and the voices and everything about it, I just yeah, I do like. As I said to you, there's still 20%, so don't go rushing into this and thinking, oh, it's all fixed. And there are still a few things, and I'm actually due to update it today with an updated version of the operating system to see if it irons out those little quirks that I've come across. But I tell you one thing, if you're on the fence thinking, should I buy one, shouldn't I buy one? I mean, I've seen one of the comments on here saying that it's just overpriced. It isn't. Trust me. I would happily pay this money for this, knowing that I have an instrument that I can connect to anything. So my piano, my organ, my even accordion, for heaven's sake. If I'm not an accordion sort of player, but if I wanted to, I could be. It's just got so much scope and potential. Ketron, if you're watching, my only thing that I would say from a professional level is this needs to look prettier. The whole graphic interface. It looks very, how would I describe it? Very Windows. It looks like a menu system that's been created by somebody in an office, not by a graphic designer. I mean, if you compare the interface on a Yamaha, and of course, Yamaha have got a lot of money. They're a big company. But however, a graphic designer can easily create some nice interface for this. Drop the tinted buttons that look very dated, and let's look at making a graphic interface that is to the level of the sound. It's a great box. I'm starting to actually love this box. So it's one of those, isn't it? Yeah, and you would buy it in its infancy, and I'm glad I didn't buy obviously version 3 event, and was very iffy. It crashed. This hasn't crashed once yet now. The only thing that I do have an issue with is the screen. I think I'm going to have to change the screen, because when I power it up, I have to disconnect it and then reconnect it every single time. But it's not the official Ketron screen, so don't panic. If you're buying the unit, I'm not sure obviously the Ketron screen must do the job. This screen doesn't trigger immediately when you power up. But other than that, I think you would be onto an absolute winner. I have no reservation in recommending this to anybody with a Verzi, or with a Bohm, or with an organ that sounds dated and old when it comes to the style unit. This will bring everything to the level that you want, and it's easy to use for the style creator. You can make your own rhythms quite simply, but however, there are a few quirks in there, and those are the couple of the things that I would like Ketron to try and fix. But yeah, I mean, this is just incredible. Now, somebody on one of the videos, in fact, yesterday I think it is, said, I'd like to see the screen. There you are. That's all it is. That's the screen. It's as thin as. And it just sits on the music rest. And if I wanted to, I could have it at the side of the keyboard on a stand. I could put it anywhere I want. I mean, there's actually a kickstand on the verbatim screen. So if I wanted to, I could even pop it there and have it in front of me to control. I think for ease of use, it's staying on the music rest. But somebody did say, can you show me the screen? I'd like to see the screen. I mean, it's a screen. What is there to see? But there are choices of screens. There's different sizes. You can go up to 27. In fact, you can go beyond 27 inch with touchscreens. I've actually got a Stephen Slate touchscreen downstairs, which is 27 inch. I might try that on here and just see how that looks. It's hellishly heavy. That's the only problem. Where would you put it? But I'm going to have a look at the screens, the options for the screens. Content-wise, though, I mean, this is without doubt the best sounding unit with disco styles. Anything pop-wise, it really is very, very good. Again, if I go major chord, try and true. It's the same, but there are different ones. it's disco in a box. There are other musical categories that country and western is very, very good as well, as are the ballads. The swings, I'm not so sure on the swings. The swings sound a bit sort of... I think it's the drum kit that has been used. I'm going to have a look at changing some of the swing stuff. The party is exceptional. It's just brilliant there. It's for fun. I think I would describe Ketron as a fun box. So there you go. Anyway, just to sort of give you a backdate, in terms of the problem that I had where the EQ was all flat, it's now fixed. And it's fixed automatically. I don't have to do anything other than simply tap, go into the style once, go to setting, go to drums, you pick the EQ you want. You can even, if you want to, you can actually create your own. But when you press the edit button, there's your EQ settings. You can change them on the screen. So if I don't want it quite so bright, I'll take it down to 6 dB. I can then make sure that the global button is set, and that will stay for all of the styles. Okay, I'm going to disappear because I don't want to make a long video. I've got other stuff to do with this wonderful instrument. But for those of you who are toying with the idea, that for me has just pushed me over the fence. I wouldn't be sitting on the fence anymore. I would be actually sat placing an order and waiting for this to arrive. It's a very, very, very good sounding, brilliant style unit that I think as time goes on, I hope Ketron develop this more. Look at, as I say, changing the interface so that the graphics are a little bit more... trying to think of the word. I don't want to be offensive, but it looks like something that you would expect the NHS to use as an app. It's very clinical. It doesn't have a lot of appeal, but it works. You know, everything's where you would expect it to be. Yeah, I hope if Ketron do watch this video, I hope you take on yesterday's comment about having some sort of a little panel with all of the style control buttons on that you could place on an instrument instead of having, just really, apart from the variation buttons and the intros, I have no need to press this when I'm performing. If I'm playing, these are only the buttons. The bottom buttons are the only ones that you would need to change. So having physical buttons would be so much nicer, just for the fact that you feel like you've pushed it and it's closer than doing the old sort of reach for the screen and come back. But other than that, yeah, I love it. I'm starting to really quite get into it. Hope the issue with the bass is sort of looked at. Again, I'm sure it will be. But I'm quite actually impressed that Ketron have done the EQ fix. I think that is a brilliant, brilliant thing to have done. So until next time, I shall say a fond farewell. This is for anybody who is looking at possibly buying or wants to sort of explore a Ketron module to add. It's, you know, I will always be honest and tell you how things are, not how things should be to sell you one, because that's not the way to do it. Because when you bought the box, the first thing you're going to do is go, oh, no, it doesn't do that, or oh, no, it doesn't do that. So I'd prefer to be honest, and that's why I wanted to update this, because now I've been advised, and to be fair, I would actually say to Ketron, you put it in a bizarre place, and you don't really label your buttons clearly with what these controls do. I mean, if you do actually go in there, let me just show you. If I go to edit, it just says global. What does global mean? Why couldn't it say apply all settings global or all settings globally? They need to make it better in describing what the control buttons do, because as it stands at the moment, that button there doesn't tell me anything. It just says global. What's global? Anyway, I'm glad somebody has explained. So thank you to the viewer who mentioned this. Had to go and check it this morning to make sure that it is right, and he is correct. And ta-da! It sounds so much better. Okay, right, so until next time, I shall say goodbye, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, all that sort of stuff. And do leave a comment. If you're thinking of getting one of these, let me know. I'll be intrigued to see what you think. And if you've actually already got one and you're using it with an instrument, tell us what your experience is. Are there things that you should be letting us know? Are there any little quirks that you feel it would be useful for other members to know? Because I know sure as hell that when I powered this up and tried to make head and tail of the menu system, coming from Yamaha, Korg, Verzi, Roland, this is alien. The way it's been sort of laid out and designed is very, very weird. But when you get your head around it, it makes sense. So, anyway, I'll see you later. Have a great day. Take care. And if you haven't clicked subscribe, please do. Click the bell. There'll be more updates with regards to this, and I shall hopefully be showing you a few more things on it. And it's kind of an explore for me as well as for you, because I'm doing all the things that you, as the customer, would do. My brain works as a musician, not as a flight control attendant or programmer. So everything I'm doing is things that you would do. So I'm just trying to cover the pitfalls and the things that you'll think, how do I do this? Somebody did mention about the Midi settings. On menu, if I go into Midi, with the Genos, I've actually managed to get it to work fine with accordion style and voice. If I actually go to what I think it should be, which is keyboard style and voice, it doesn't seem to work. So the accordion setting seems to be happy. So why would you change it? I've left it on there and everything seems to be okay. But if you've got settings for this and you want to say, well, hang on a minute, if you're playing it with a Genos, this is what you should be using, tell me. I'm intrigued. I'll see you guys later. Have a great day. All the very best. Thank you. Bye-bye.